Kia ora, we're Malone Sustainable Styling, and on this week's podcast episode, we're going to be discussing fashion myths.
Yay! So we've got a bowl of different myths here, but before we get into this, we need to do our outfit check-in. So Sienna, how are you feeling in your outfit today?
Really good. I just got this top on Friday with Sarah when we went to Curate in the city, and if you don't know what Curate is, it's this amazing little shop above City Mission on Barbados Street in Christchurch, and Rosie, who does the curating, does such a good job.
Yeah, she really does.
But I've got this Japanese silk top, and it's
so beautiful
in this like champagne color and has this beautiful embroidery on it. And we saw it right as we were leaving, and I was like, oh, I've got to have it.
Yeah, it's made for you.
And then I've got a long denim skirt, my long boots that I got from Nifty, and kind of like a soft corally crop jacket.
It's got some really nice feminine Western vibes going on, so I love it. I'm feeling good too. I feel very like resorty, woman of leisure. I feel like I need some big sunglasses. I'm wearing a silky dusky rose camisole with some loose linen pants and some burgundy Mary Janes, and I thought, I feel so much like a woman that would sleep with my pool boy that I'm going to add a silk kimono jacket, and actually I just feel really comfy and relaxed.
Yeah.
And I like it. It's good.
Looks good.
Thank
Just gonna lean into that vibe.
Lean into it. It's very much a blend of dreamer and dramatic, and so those are my two dominant archetypes, so I feel very at home in this. All right, shall we start? Okay, so we've got a bunch of myths in here that we've collected from people's suggestions and from just the internet. We'll probably only get through about 4, but we can always come back and do another one of these podcasts in a month or 2 if people enjoy them. So the first one, it's hard to shop sustainably. I kind of agree with this myth. I think it is hard to shop sustainably, but only at first it's harder. And then once you've done the groundwork and you understand your preferences and you actually can make really conscious shopping decisions, then it is so much easier.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I guess it depends what you mean by sustainably.
Well, I don't think you have to buy all of your clothing from new companies that use like sustainable fabrics and pay their employees a decent wage. You can do that by going to resellers or secondhand shops. So I think a lot of people, when they think about this question, they think if you're buying everything new, because of course those pieces are going to have to be more expensive.
Yeah. So hard in terms of barriers, financial barriers, time barriers, size barriers.
Yeah.
Yeah, because sustainably is like shopping secondhand, shopping from new places that have a higher ethics and sustainable values and practices. And the third one is just understanding, making conscious, deliberate decisions and not over consuming, but carefully curating your wardrobe.
Yeah.
So those are the 3 sort of pillars in my mind of shopping sustainably. And I do think that if you are shopping secondhand, if that's what you mean by shopping sustainably, then it takes more time. And so it's harder in that sense, like there's more legwork. Because often you might be looking for a particular piece that you want to add for months rather than just going out and picking it up brand new.
Yeah, but I mean, most of us don't need a piece right that second. So if you can be patient with adding pieces to your wardrobe and be more considerate with your purchases, I don't know that necessarily means it's harder. It just means you're going to have to wait.
Yeah, but if you don't understand what you like and you're not consciously building a usable wardrobe, then you are more likely to just go out and buy something when you need it, because the need's going to arise more because your wardrobe isn't working for you, because you haven't thoroughly defined what works for you. You're panic buying. And so that may seem easier to go out and buy new rather than search and search. But actually, in the long run, once you've done that groundwork, then I think it becomes easier, because panic buying is stressful. Shopping new is stressful, especially if you don't have a roadmap. But I do think that shopping sustainably is harder for some people than others. It's much harder to pick up good quality plus size clothing secondhand. There may seem like, when I go into an op shop, there might seem like there's a lot of plus size clothing. There might be a dedicated area for it, but then on closer inspection, a lot of it's really bad quality, or the design's not that good.
Yeah. And a lot of use of black, and they just haven't been thoughtful in their design of the garment.
Yeah, like you noticed how there'd be just a sizing up, and that doesn't necessarily work. Like
it doesn't translate.
Necessarily translate all the time. So there are definite barriers to shopping sustainably if you are plus size, if you're needing to be careful with money, although I would argue that shopping sustainably is better on the wallet,
I would too,
over time than multiple fast fashion purchases, and tricky if you need help with building your wardrobe. But once you've done that groundwork of understanding, then I think it's a lot easier and a lot less stressful.
Yeah, and if you are shopping new, then you're going to be going into those clothing stores. You might buy 4 pieces every season, maybe more, but then you're probably replacing those pieces a lot more often, because you're shopping to a trend, and then that trend passes, and then it feels outdated. Whereas if you're shopping secondhand, those pieces that you're gravitating towards and you're buying have withstood so many trend cycles, and you still love them.
Yeah.
So it's probably going to stay in your wardrobe longer. So in that respect, I think it's less time.
Well, and you're gravitating towards things you like. Whereas when you go into a brand new shop, it's all trends. It's all what the designer in that current moment has set out. So you're just being told what's nice.
Yeah.
Or being told what to like. Yeah, and I think when you feel like, oh, I don't have something for this thing that I'm going to, and you're going out and panic buying, it's because you have previously panic bought, and the item that you've bought in the past, or not panic bought, but bought without thorough intention, it hasn't stayed in your wardrobe because it hasn't been right, and so you've moved it on, or it's still there but you don't like it, so you don't feel like you've got anything to wear. Whereas if you break that cycle, then when it comes to I've got something to go to, you do already have things in your wardrobe, because you've gone out and been thoughtful about it and built it over a period of time. All right, so the myth is it's harder to shop sustainably. Do we agree or do we disagree?
When I first heard this one, I was just like, not true. And for me, I feel like, because I've been shopping from thrift stores and secondhand since my mom took me around with her as a little girl, I find it second nature, and I find it really easy and also nice on the wallet. And whenever I find pieces, it's like finding a piece of treasure. It's like, oh, it's the color I want. It's the size I want.
Yeah.
It's, the shape I want. And so you're like, oh, this is amazing.
Yeah. When it ticks all your boxes, it's like an emphatic yes.
Yeah.
It's like consent. It should be an emphatic yes. And that makes it rewarding and less stressful, because you don't mind ignoring all the things that don't tick the boxes.
But I think it probably is harder for some people to shop secondhand or sustainably. Yeah, what do you think?
I think it's harder in the beginning, but once you understand the style preferences that you have, once you understand all of that, you can shop new, you can shop secondhand. And even if it's a fast fashion piece, because you've been so conscious about it, the quality may mean it doesn't hold up for years, but if you're going to get a lot of wear out of it, it's easier to shop sustainably once you understand those things. But I think at the start it's harder. Yeah. And if you're just meaning shopping secondhand, then it's certainly harder for some people. Yeah. Absolutely. And it does take more time to add pieces to your wardrobe.
Especially bottoms.
Yeah, but if you understand what works, then you can go out and buy them new. Yeah. And it's a conscious choice. It's an informed choice. So that's still sustainable, because you're going to wear them. Yeah. Okay, so that was myth number 1.
Should we pull another one?
Yep. What's it going to be?
You should wear white, or you shouldn't wear white after Labor Day.
Ah, yay. I have no idea what I've heard this before,
Yeah.
but I have no idea why it would be an issue to wear white after Labor Day or where it came from. But I know that you know, so that's good.
Yeah, we debated putting this one in because it doesn't have a lot of relevance for New Zealand, but I thought from a fashion history point of view, it might be interesting.
Yeah, all about fashion history. I love it.
Yeah, so it originated in France in the 16th century, and they would wear white to do indoor sports. And then England picked it up with Wimbledon, and you probably know now that like Wimbledon, they wear all white.
Yeah, yeah.
And the reasoning was because white hides sweat stains.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm just amazed that it's such an old fashion myth, like a fashion rule, I guess it would have been, because I had totally assumed it came from the States and it was made up in like the 80s and like what is this? This is weird. I had no idea it was from the 16th century in France.
Yeah, so the Americans took that from Europe, and then during the summer, East Coasters, often from New York or like wealthy cities, they would go summer in like Montauk or the Hamptons, and they would have their summer house. Okay. So they'd pack all their stuff up, and then they'd move to their summer house for 3 months. And while they were at their summer house, they'd only wear white, and they'd host in white, and they'd play their summer sports in white. And the reasoning was because in the city, they couldn't wear white because it was so grimy, and there was horse poop on the ground. And if you wore white, it'd be gross.
Yeah, completely impractical.
Yeah. So, and it was also a way of dividing the classes. It was like, I'm very wealthy. I'm, go summer in Montauk or the Hamptons, and and I wear all white. But yeah, they wouldn't have dressed it all white all the time. But it was just, at your summer house, you'd wear it. Yeah. And then after Labor Day, when you got back to the city after being there for the summer, then you'd go back to your
the whites
darker
were put
colors.
away.
Yeah.
Steamed, cleaned, ready for the next summer holiday.
Yeah.
That's so
it was like after Labor Day, put away your whites.
Yeah, right. Okay.
And I mean, in some circles, I'm sure this rule is still used, like with high society.
I wonder if it is.
But growing up in California, we were always kind of like, oh, what a silly rule. Like it just didn't have any kind of relevance for us, or we weren't connected to the history behind it.
Yeah, yeah. But I'm sure that there are people who still follow that purely for class reasons.
Yeah.
But in New Zealand and the Southern Hemisphere, October isn't at the end of summer, so we do not have to follow that rule.
Nobody has to follow that.
That's really interesting, though. I'm still amazed that it is such an old rule. That it's cool.
Yeah, because it kind of came around in America. It would have started around the Gilded Age, so the late 19th century. So it's been a while that it was a rule.
All right. Well, I'm going to choose the next myth. Okay, this one is you should dress to balance your shape. Well, this is a total myth in our opinion. We don't do this with our clients, but because some people prefer to enhance their shape, and that's why we've moved away from the fruit classifications of body shapes, because they're too restrictive and they're all about creating an hourglass figure for everybody, and some people don't want to do that. But beyond that, there are so many other interesting systems and ways of dressing that don't follow this adherence to balance and symmetry of the female form. I think this is a system of dressing the female form that has held sway for quite some time, to the point where we see it as a norm, but there are other ways of dressing. Yeah. And when I think about proportions more generally, I mean, we teach people how to balance their body shape if they want to balance it, or enhance it if they want to enhance it. But we also share knowledge of how to use the rule of thirds, for instance, which is where you break the body up into 3/3, and you have 2/3 together and then 1/3 on its own. And that can be that you break the 2/3 mid-thigh, or the classic one is breaking 1/3 at the waistline and having 2/3 the legs. because it's a useful system and people do like the look of it. So it's useful to know. But is it the only one? No, of course not. There are other ones as well. We always check with people about their preferences and how they want to present their body and teach them that way. But there's some really interesting other systems and other ways of looking at proportions in the female form. If we move away from the West completely, then and look at Japan, for instance, they've got a whole different set of aesthetics, and that goes into fashion and dressing as well. There's a brilliant man named Sakata who we follow on Instagram, and he does fashion research and development. He's got a brilliant reel looking at Japanese aesthetics and form and dressing, which we'll link in the show notes here. But he was talking about how it's more about a vibe or a feel than following any kind of symmetry within how you dress.
And it was actually going against symmetry and balance.
Yes.
How the West uses symmetry and balance, but then in Japan, they embrace imperfection and the lack of symmetry.
Yeah, I really, really resonate with that, because even with these flowers, I've actually got some like dried wildflowers in the other room that I had put in with these because they seem too perfect.
Yeah.
Like I like things to have a bit of a rougher edge. It feels almost icky and makes my skin crawl a little bit. Things are too perfect. So really resonate with that one. And so there's a lot of asymmetry in the silhouettes and designs. And also, rather than showing the female form or the hourglass form that we're obsessed with here, they've got the idea of suggestion rather than
being too
revelation.
Obvious.
So it's the like indicating something rather than fully revealing it.
When he talked about that in the reel, it just made me laugh because I was thinking about the West. We are so obvious with things and we just like want to show everything. And then you really see it in Japanese design where the idea of suggestion, they hint at something and there's beauty in it.
I think that's true, but I think it's different between New Zealand and America. I think maybe we're a bit more on the restrained side than the overt side, but not to the extent of the Japanese, and not that all Japanese dress in those ways, but that they've got that long-standing aestheticism, centuries of it.
Yeah, I think actually New Zealand would be even more so than like England, you know? I think England even so would be more obvious.
Really?
I think so.
Yeah.
Like if you think about how they...
I agree.
Yeah. I think New Zealand's its own little...
climate. Its own culture.
Yeah. And so I think you're right. I think it would be more subtle.
The idea of suggestion and restraint and the idea of irregularity and imperfection, these were sort of defined by a man called Donald Keene as a way to try and understand the Japanese aesthetics. Ken Sakata does a much better job of explaining this, so do check out his reel. But that Donald Keene also categorized perishability in Japanese aestheticism and simplicity. Which is so interesting once you apply it to fashion, especially perishability. So this idea that things will break down and rot and wear away.
And fade.
So in fashion, that gets translated into things that fade, and like faded denim. And I love that, especially as a vintage lover. The whole Japanese aestheticism really appeals to me. Like, yes, things that have been pre-loved and are now imperfect and have stories to tell and have fade, or even with like homewares, I prefer vintage because they're not that perfect. You know, like it has a chip, that's fine. It's still beautiful because of its history.
Well, often we're so hung up on, we don't want it to have any wear at all, and we wash it as little as possible, or we hand wash it so that it's not showing wear. But then it's that whole idea of things are meant to show wear and they're meant to fade, and that's part of the story of the garment.
And as he was saying, that's the opposite to durability in Western notions of Western fashion. But actually, if you are obsessed with things looking new and not letting them age, then that's the opposite of durability and sustainability too, because then you're getting rid of it in this pursuit of perfection and newness. And then the simplicity, which they mentioned was not about not having quality, but just letting the true essence of something shine. And I really like that in terms of color analysis, because I think that's partly what I love about color analysis, is you're looking at that person's natural form and the beauty of that, and allowing and amplifying that, rather than adding
bells and whistles
that to try and detract or change or modify or manipulate.
He gave a really good example of how the lines are so beautiful that you don't need all the embellishment and the distraction of lots of embellishments, because the lines and the craftsmanship should be the focus and what you're looking at.
Issey Miyake's pleated garments really come to mind there. So to encapsulate, rather than following these rules of thirds or symmetry or balancing the body to be an hourglass shape, it's about that aesthetic values in some way, the feeling of it and the vibe of it, the essence of it, which is similar to the Kibbe system. I don't know if people have heard of the Kibbe system. You often see it on social media, so I feel like a lot of people would have at least heard the name. But that's really another interesting way of looking at dressing the body. Controversial, because founded by a guy in the 80s. And
I think it's less controversial than the fruit system, though. I think he was trying to go against the whole fruit system, and he realized that was really had a negative body image associated with it, because it was trying to force everybody to remake their body into an hourglass. So if you were an apple, it was, how could you change that apple shape to be an hourglass? Whereas his system, he was very body positive, and then he was looking at your natural lines and not about balance and symmetry, but harmony.
I think women just get tired of being categorized by men. Regardless of who invented it, it's an interesting system to think about, because it blends body characteristics, physical characteristics of the face and the body and everything, with personality and more of an essence of the person.
I agree. Like categorizing people, like people will get sick of being boxed in and just want, and that's why our body shape system, we've gone away from those different types of systems. But I think there is some useful stuff in his one, and I liked the idea. His whole idea behind it was to create harmony and follow your own characteristics.
In the same way that color analysis does too. I think there's a lot of value in it, and they're really interesting categories too, like the gamine, which is, so in terms of body physical characteristics, they tend to be more petite, on the petite side, and then their face has sort of elfin-like elements. So it's quite an interesting, holistic system to look at. And I guess the point being with this myth is that there's endless different ways that you can dress a body, and the female body, and express yourself through silhouettes and shapes. So no, you do not have to balance, and you don't even have to use
a system.
2/3, but these systems are helpful. I think they're really helpful in giving you guidelines and giving you inspiration, and as a means of self-reflection. But it depends on what you prefer as to how you want to do that, and what system you might want to embrace.
There's nothing wrong with balancing a shape, right? Like, I think naturally our eye, from living in a Western society, we naturally want to balance a shape because that's what we've grown up with. That's what our idea of beauty is. But I think a lot of people now are they'd like another alternative.
And like with the rule of thirds or the golden ratio, they are beautiful to look at. That's why artists use them, and have for many centuries, and it can be applied to fashion as well, but it's not the only way.
Definitely not. Like, okay, I'll grab another one. You should wear whatever you like.
Okay, so this one I think this is one of the most important myths because it's insidious. Because when you hear it, it sounds like, yeah, I want to wear whatever I want to wear and everyone should wear whatever they like. And how do you argue with that? Like, yes, of course, wear whatever you like. But I think it's a dangerous approach to fashion because the people that I see espousing it are fashion influencers.
That is not what I thought you were going to say.
Really?
Yeah. I thought you were like, yes, wear whatever you want.
Ah, right. Are fashion influencers, are brands, are people that have a vested interest in profiting from fashion. And that concerns me because if you wear whatever you like, then the options are limitless and that spurs confusion.
And consumerism.
And so, yes, wear whatever you like, but understand what you like to wear before you go out shopping. And I feel like wear whatever you like has the opposite effect.
Yeah.
It's like, don't tell me what to do, but it's a trick because they are telling you what to do. They're telling you to buy lots of things and chop and change all the time, and follow trends and all of that.
So really it's getting in touch with what you love and what makes you feel good and confident to wear.
Yeah.
And then wear what you like.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. It's kind of like one of those tricks where depends what words you emphasize. It sounds like something that's giving you freedom.
But not holding accountability, maybe? Is that what you're trying to...
Yeah, I feel like it sounds like it's giving you freedom and power and all of those things. But in reality, it's probably going to lead you to overconsume and be confused about what your style is.
Because you're not being considerate. Like, you're not considered rather than considerate. Yeah.
Yeah, I just feel like it's often influencers who espouse it. And influencers are often young and beautiful and also very creative people who are probably, in creative archetypes, they do like to blend extremes and they're very good at it. But for a lot of people, they don't have those archetypes. And so actually telling people to wear whatever they like is just trying to build a bridge without a blueprint, you know? And that's going to lead to wastage and harm rather than... Yeah, I think knowledge is power, and going around saying wear whatever you like is actually taking away that power and is kind of detrimental.
Yeah. And it kind of leads into our new branding, like wear who you are, because you need to know who you are.
Yeah.
First and foremost.
Yeah. And what you like.
Yeah.
And what makes you feel good. And then you can express yourself and not follow trends.
Yeah.
You can really wear what you like rather than wear what you like, which is flippant and dismissive. Yeah. And completely unhelpful. Well, I think that's probably all the fashion myths we have time for because we like to waffle on. Yeah. So all of these ones will come in another episode. Yeah. I had fun. I quite like it. I like doing this.
It was fun, like kind of looking at the different points of view around them.
What fashion myth did you most enjoy or do you most disagree with?
What? I don't like, I can see both sides of almost all of them. Yeah. But the one I most enjoyed was the Ken Sakata. Ken Sakata's how he was talking about the difference between Japanese and Western. Yeah. I really just found that fascinating.
Yeah, so interesting. Yeah.
What about you?
I think probably that is my favorite myth as well. And I really enjoyed finding out what the hell no white after Labor Day means. We will be back in a couple of weeks with a new podcast. In the meantime, you can follow us on Instagram and YouTube and Facebook. And you can check out our website if you're interested in working with us. We'll put all of that information down below, including the people that we referenced and topics in the show notes. Hope you have a really, really lovely day, and we'll talk to you soon. Ka kite.